Hello? Huh. No one. That's weird. Oh no.
G'day you cheeky dogs! Today we're going to be going through all of the Easter eggs, hidden details, Australian references, anime and movie and pop culture references, and just like every other little hidden detail that maybe you might have missed from the Bluey episode Surprise.
This episode of Bluey is called Surprise!
Little star, how I wonder what you are.
Bluey! That's what having kids is like.
And of course we are going to be talking about all the future scenes as well, and the little baby new healer at the end.
Will I have children when I grow up?
Maybe. Depends if you want them.
But if you love Bluey as much as we do here, don't forget to hit that like button down below, that subscribe button, and that bell for notifications so you know whenever I release any other Bluey videos. But I want to start off today with the blaster scene.
Uh-oh.
Now this has a ton of anime references in it, both Bluey's one as well as the future healer child's one in it as well. So Bluey's cannon looks a lot like the one from Mega Man, whereas the green scouter that she has on her right eye looks a lot like the one from Dragon Ball Z, even though those are always on the left.
Vegeta, what did you say his power level is? It's over 9,000!
The white and gold armor as well looks a lot like the stuff from Dragon Ball Z. However, it could also be from Spartacus from the character Arcana and her white and gold sort of coloring. Because Joe Brum did say that Spartacus was an influence in this episode, and whilst I've never seen that show, I've tried to look through it as much as I could, and I couldn't really see how it would relate to us except for the actual color scheme. As for the future blaster, this one we can definitely see has a lot of the RoboCop kind of references in it with the color scheme, as well as the scouter on this one is red, just like the RoboCop visor, but there are also red scouters in Dragon Ball Z as well. And again, Joe Brum did say that RoboCop did help influence a big part of this episode.
I was just watching the race, mate. The Aussie fella's doing well.
The next thing though I want to talk about is the wheelchair marathon, because it is so insane how amazing this is. Not only the fact that of course they're showing like Paralympians in Bluey, but the fact that this exact race that we saw is the exact race that happened in real life. So the race that they're showing on the TV is the actual 2006 New York Marathon, and the Aussie fella that Bandit is talking about is Kurt Fernley, whose wheelchair also did actually get overturned during this race, but he went on to win it, just like the dog did in this race as well.
This won't stop him.
With the exact same time, with 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 22 seconds. The design as well is also identical to Kurt Fernley's too, with not only just the colors of the helmet, but the color of the bike as well, and of course, the dog's name in this is Kurt, just like in real life.
Hard competition out there. He's being chased by his competitors. I don't know how he's gonna get out of this.
So of course, who are they going to get to voice the commentator for this section? They obviously got Kurt Fernley to do this as well, and he even made like a whole statement about it on his Twitter or X account as well about it. Now, of course, the course doesn't look like New York, instead it looks like the UK. So this is obviously meant to replicate the London Marathon as well, and it could either be a callback to the 2012 Olympics, or just the fact that this was aired on the exact same day as the London Marathon.
If he can just stick to his race plan,
Go, mate.
he'll be good.
But I do love the little details with like the UK flags, just like they have them in real life for the marathons, and the little crown on top as well.
This is a good spot for daycare. Just a quick check for any nutbags. Clear.
Now, before we get into those flash forward scenes, I do want to go through some of the really cool traditional Easter eggs, as well as some of like the name references that Bingo uses.
Look, I have more children. Can you get Jaconicus to sleep and teach Delarina to ride a bike?
But we're going to start off, of course, with our long dog, and this is where we get another RoboCop reference, because we get a RoboCop long dog in the flash forward scene. We also have a pineapple Easter egg with seeing the pineapple notice board again in the playroom. And of course, for our tennis ball Easter eggs, unlike in the episode The Sign where there was like 0, we did of course get 4 tennis ball Easter eggs as well, with the children inside of the stubby coolers. And yes, stubby coolers or stubby holders is like what we would call those in Australia. I know in America you call them koozies.
What do you need stubby coolers for?
I'm having children.
Oh, good one.
So just one of those fun little things of like us saying different words to other countries. But the stubby holders for those 4 tennis ball kids, however, are again very Australian kind of references. The first one is the green and gold kangaroo, which of course green and gold for the Australian colours, and kangaroos are Australian. The second one is the Queensland one, which is maroon for Queensland colours, just like we saw in the episode The Decider, but this also outlines the state of Queensland as well. well. There's another one with a crocodile in it. Of course, crocodiles are synonymous with Australia too. And then the third one was the Australian flag.
Here's Copernicus. You have to get him to sleep.
No worries.
And this is where it gets kind of cool, because the name that Bingo gave this stubby cooler and tennis ball was Copernicus, and Copernicus was actually a famous astronomer in history, and this ties in well because, of course, the name she gave it is for the one that has the stars on it. Astronomer, stars, Copernicus. So just like a nice little like tie-in there with history.
Did you get Copernicus to sleep?
Yeah, here you go.
Thanks.
Bingo's name as well is ausytralian, which is, of course, also something in real life. It is a medical term for when you get like ear drainage.
Oh, Bingo.
My name is Ausytralian.
So I wonder if maybe she heard that name while she was in the hospital, whether it was something that was done to her or something that she heard someone around her getting done, and it like just stuck in her brain. And like most kids do, they spread out these random names of like random things that they heard once in their life.
I've had another baby.
Jeez, Ausytralian, you're pumping these things out.
So let's get into those flash forward scenes now at the very end of this episode.
Hi, Mum. Bluey! What a lovely surprise!
Some of the details that we saw for the inside room, we saw an Amazon Alexa on the footrest. There was like wear and tear on the walls as well to show how much time has passed.
Oh, the house is looking good.
Thanks! Can you believe Dad almost sold it?
Are you ever gonna let that go?
The robot vacuum was like one of the funniest gags, with the fact that like it still couldn't get in this station no matter how many decades have passed. Technology obviously is still just as bad in the future as it is in current day. But the little doggy design on the robot vacuum is actually the exact same design that we saw in the sign with Tina and Tonya on Bingo's feet. The clock as well that we see on the bench shows a beach in the background, which is the beach from Stickbird, Curramundi Beach. And then the digital photo frame on the wall, of course, cycles through 3 different photos. One of them is a fantastic nod to Reddit, and especially the Our Place project back in 2022, where like everyone was trying to compete to put like pixels on this digital like canvas, and it was this big race to try and get both Bluey and Bingo in it. But Bingo kept getting erased, which is why Bluey had the orange heart, because that was orange heart for Bingo. And then the animators at Ludo actually like drew this as a picture and said like thank you to Our Place for putting Bluey in it, and yeah, they used this in the episode Surprise.
Huh?
The second picture that we see is one of Bluey's graduation from university. She's wearing her little cap. She looks like she's holding her degree as well. I do want to point out that this is definitely a university graduation, not a high school graduation. So unlike in America where like you guys do like the caps and the gowns and everything for high school as well, we don't do that, not specifically at all in Queensland. That is just for university. So in this picture we can see that yeah, Bluey does get some sort of degree. The third picture, of course, is the only time we see Bingo in the future. Of course, she is referenced that she is in the backyard, so we don't know why, if she's just coming by to visit, if she still lives there, what's going on.
Bandit!
I hear ya. Hey, Bluey.
Hey, Dad.
Come on, Bingo's out the back.
But we do see this picture of her at Rapa Nui, also known as Easter Island, and she's standing in front of the Moai statues, which are like the dogified versions of the statues that you see on Easter Island, which is just such a cool little detail that they decided to add in. But something really interesting though is that her design is actually changed from her flash forward scene from Daddy Drop Off. She did in those pictures have like a yellow belly patch, but she doesn't in this picture here. So aside from Bingo's design change, the other grown-ups, of course, and their future selves that we saw was Chili, Bandit, and Bluey. So Chili's design is basically almost the exact same. She just grew some extra hair, and she of course now has glasses. Bandit of course does have the return of the mullet, which was something that was teased by the official Bluey account back in 2022. And something really interesting is that all of Bandit's like straight lines that he had on like his feet and patches and wrists have all turned into like more curved lines to show that more fur has grown. And Bluey, of course, we have to talk about, because this is the very first time that her voice actor has been credited, because of course this is an adult voice actor doing adult Bluey.
Bandit! I just thought I'd pop by.
It's so good to see you. Come in.
So her voice actor was Geraldine Hakewell, who's a famous Australian actress, and she did such a fantastic job with Bluey's voice. Bluey's design as well, of course, she has lots of grey hairs, she has longer fur and like a sort of mullet as well, just like her dad. The assumption is that she is around 30 years old as well, or if not maybe a little bit later, because of the amount of grey hairs she has. It's very similar to how many Bandit had when he was around her age having kids. Which of course then brings us into the little kid that we saw outside the door. And this of course was was a perfect like scene by scene of earlier in the episode when we see Bluey doing the exact same door prank at the start as this little kid does at the end, which obviously is like the biggest debate on the internet at the moment as to like, is Bluey the mum? Is Bingo the mum? Who's the dad? Could it be some random dog? Could it be someone that Bluey knew growing up like Mackenzie or Jean-Luc? It's like a whole thing. I did a video on it and it's probably like the most viral video I've ever had on YouTube, so if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link for it up here as well as in the comment section down below. I didn't really talk too much about it being Bingo's kid because honestly I didn't really believe that at the time, but there is a bit of evidence that maybe it is, so maybe that will be a future video. But the last most amazing details I think is the transition for how they showed that it was the future, and that was the outside scene of the Gila house turning into the future. So these are all the little details that you might have missed in those like 3 seconds that we saw it. So all the trees, of course, have gotten taller and fuller and have more flowers on them. The towers on Mount Cootha in the background have now turned into wind turbines, and it also looks like there's a nuclear power plant in the background as well. A lot of the houses in the back have turned into apartment buildings. We see drones flying up around the sky delivering packages. The church in the background has turned into a tower, and all of the houses in the suburb have solar panels on the roof as well. The Healers do also have one more wheelie bin now, which has a blue lid, which could be for literally anything. But the last little detail was at the very front porch, we can see some of like the aging on the house, but also the doorbell has gone from like a traditional doorbell to a more tech-savvy one. So that was all of the Easter eggs and hidden details and Australian references and just really cool, amazing stuff from this episode. So let me know in the comment section down below what was your favorite. I do plan on doing like a deep dive into like the themes and my thoughts and feelings on this episode and how they represented disabilities and things like that, as well as the actual original idea for this episode. So that will be coming out sometime next week. So if you want to see that, again, don't forget to hit that like button down below, that subscribe button, and that bell for notifications so you know whenever I release that video.
Got it?
Got it.
But until then, I have picked you cheeky dogs out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch, and I will see you all in another video. Mwah! Bye!